Not that arm. That's not
I'm
a good
cozy. I'm not sexy. You're the sexy one, Lee.
arm. Yeah. I've noticed a lot of our TikToks are actually just like it's quite funny. The one with the most views is Sally, just a picture of Sally, and then the rest of them are just me, like just sitting in a vest. All the ones with less views, I'm like, maybe we shouldn't start on me. We should always just be a picture of Sally, and then just see what happens.
It's the whole
Immediately cuts to me.
Well,
Anyway,
welcome back to our.
I'll put on a sexy outfit one day. Sorry.
I'll put the same
for our
outfit on, just
Patreon.
even. Yeah, just tassels.
You know what you
Sorry,
should
are we
do?
recording? No, yeah, we're doing the thing, aren't we? Sorry, mate.
Lee, wear tassels for it.
Mate, I'm wearing tassels. It's clamps I'm wearing right now, not tassels.
Lee.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome back to our 7th episode, and this is our Christmas special.
Christmas time, it's once a year. By the way, Sally, fuck you for making me watch a sad film.
Right.
I
never watched it before.
Nah, I've got
we'll come back to it much for the. Let me just before we go far, I'll tell you how I knew it was sad. Right, Yvonne, I was sitting watching it, and Yvonne was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Oh, it's a film called Last Christmas," and she went, "Oh, you're gonna cry." I was like, "What do you mean?" She went, "Trust me, you're gonna cry," and I was like, why do you think I should? Because I watched that film 5 times, and I've cried every time. I was like, "Oh, god damn it!"
You know what? I
Hey, Alex.
I thought the opposite.
You are glow stick Wolverine.
You thought it was a happy film?
No, we'll come back to it. Right, I'm going to start with the film news first.
Right, we're going to do our film news. Thanks for coming to visit, okay? Did you have a good time at your nativity? Did you remember your line?
Yeah.
Shout your line to us. Okay. Good night. There you go. He's done his line.
What was his character?
It's child 3. I don't know.
Door holder number 2.
You can close the door, wee man. Right, thank you. Listen for okay. Listen for the door.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
So we're getting a big actor for the Mandalorian film. Jeremy Allen White. But who do you think he's playing?
Hold on, who?
Jeremy Allen White.
Who's Jeremy Allen Wright?
White.
I know who Jeffrey Wright is. Who the hell's that guy?
The guy for the bear.
Oh, the wee guy, yeah? The guy that's the bear.
Ah, he's not dressed as a bear, but he's a chef in the bear.
Yeah, he's called The Bear. It's called The Bear, and he is the bear in it, yeah?
Aye.
I know who he is, yeah. He's in loads of things.
He's in the new Mandalorian film.
Is he going to be noticeably shorter than everyone else?
Willy Wonka.
No, that's Timothy Chalamet.
No, I know him. He's
He looks
Shameless.
like him though, right?
I feel like you'd have watched the US Shameless, Sally.
No.
No? Yes, the red.
I've seen you just Google.
No, I watched the UK one. I didn't watch the American one.
Apparently, the American one's very good, by the way. I've never watched it. Apparently, it's very good. It went on for years and years.
I watched it. So, Logan, I'm old enough to remember Shameless when it came out on Channel 4 and you had to wait a week to watch the episode.
Is that still back on the telly recently or not?
What was it?
I think Frank's one of the few actors that makes it to the end of that series. I think everyone else just disappears. But anyway, that's not the point. Anyway, so you're getting the guy for the bear, the guy that plays the really good chef. He's going to be in the Mandalorian movie.
Who do you think he's playing?
Yoda.
Luke
Yoda's
Skywalker.
Grogu's dad. Oh, that's actually not a bad shout, by the way. He could be a new Luke Skywalker. They did actually want Sebastian Stan.
He is playing Jabba the Hutt's son.
Alright, so I mean he's going to be in dress up. He's going to be CGI then, yeah?
He's just got to be a voice, isn't it?
No, that's rubbish.
So his character is called Rota, R-O-T-T-A, the Hutt. That's all we know about this guy. I don't know why that became news already, but yeah. So Jeremy Allen White's got to be Jabba the Hutt's Wayne, which is fried. But we're also getting another Final Destination coming out, which I didn't know this was even a thing.
I've not died enough time. I've got enough trauma. I can't drive behind a fucking lorry with logs because of that film.
It's so funny to this day to find out, because I think every one of us watched that movie and thought, oh, that's scary. And then you move on with your life, and then years later, because of memes, you start to see the memes cropping up, and they're saying, because of this thing, I'm scared. And I was, because for years I was like, yeah, that's really scary, thinking I was the only person that thought that. But also I know how physics works, so see when logs fall off things, they don't bounce and then like Sparta through your car. They just fall off and then just lie on the ground because that's not how things work. But that was a really scary
Well,
sequence.
here's the pitch.
Also, the last the Final Destination.
So this is what I didn't realise what the pitch is till I've just read it there. So it's got to be called Final Destination Bloodlines. The director's pitch for the film to the horror franchise's producers by faking their own deaths in a Zoom call.
Okay. I mean, that's a clever idea, I suppose, yeah. So the kid had already got
thought-
killed on the Zoom call.
Yeah. Which I just realised was
I thought
technically
it
on a
was-
Zoom call.
Thought with the bloodline, it was going to be the kids of the ones that had died. You
But
know,
how many survivors? Was there no like one survivor per?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to think.
I don't think.
it's been a long time since I watched them films. That would have been cool though.
I'm trying to think how it would work in terms of.
Because that
Yeah, I'm-
bloodline shouldn't have continued technically.
Mhm.
Well, some to sort of survive because they have the baby in one of the second movie. A baby gets born, and that's what like stops the death taking her.
I need to
'Cause it's-
rewatch
no, wait, that's
Final
bollocks. No, you have to die and get brought back to life, don't you? Because they think they've got to have the baby born, but that's not right.
I thought it
Sorry,
was
it's a
just
while
the-
since I've seen that film.
Is it not?
I
just
stopped
the
watching
cheap
them
death?
after. Yeah, to cheat death, you basically got your heart's got to stop and you've got to die.
Mhm.
But then if somebody revives you, then it's okay. Death's not coming for you. But I was getting confused because in the second movie, they try and protect the pregnant lady the whole time, thinking, "Oh, she's the one that's going to die, and if she has the baby, it's cool. That's a new life." But that turns out they've got their magic wrong, their death magic. And then after that, I kind of stopped watching it because you get older and you're like, I don't care about this stupid movie anymore.
There's got to be another.
well, I think-
There's got to be another stupid movie you'll probably not care about.
Good then.
I already spoke about this. I don't know if I spoke to you about this before. Who's got to be the next Patrick Bateman for the American Psycho reboot?
Good then.
Austin Butler,
Who's that?
Elvis.
Gerard Butler's son.
I never watched the Elvis movie.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Why are we doing a film podcast? I just don't know who the fuck Austin
I
Butler is.
don't watch every new thing that comes on. I just I watch what I want to watch. I didn't watch the Elvis movie. Apparently, it was very good, but I was like, I don't care about this.
It's not really, but I'll not let anyone be annoyed by you fucking hating Elvis. But he was also in Dune 2. He was like the bald guy.
The baldy guy.
He's like the
Also,
young-
not watched June 1 and 2 yet. I will get round to that.
Have you
I know
seen-
everybody's boyfriend Jason Momoa's in it. He's in the first one, and it's Timothy Chalamet's in that one, and so is Zendaya. I know that.
got big cats in that.
Yeah.
one.
Who? Oh, Big Cash,
Aye.
yeah. Hey, what's his face? Big giant. Drax the Destroyer, played by Batista. He's in it as well. I think he plays the baddie or something. Does he not?
I don't
It's a
know.
Harkonian-
I've only seen the first one.
Oh, really? It seems like the kind of thing you'd watch. Apparently, very good. I've not got round to it yet though.
I'm got to wait for
Also, very long, which is the problem I have. Like, see, if a
Aye.
film's like 2 hours 45 minutes, I'm like, don't know if I'm going to watch that.
I'm going to wait for the third film to come out, then I'll watch the second because I don't want
Is
to.
a third film?
I hope so.
I mean, there's like 9 books, but from what I understand, of the 27 books, like there's one good book, and the rest of them are garbage.
Well, I thought they were just saying the way like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, they just have a trilogy, and then a couple of years later there'll
Force
be
trilogy.
another.
They did a prequel for some reason.
Yeah.
There's also a TV series on HBO Max at the
Aye,
moment,
that came out recently. I
which
think.
apparently is good as well. I've not watched that either. So many things I've not watched.
Well,
So
do you remember when we watched the Nickelodeon documentary?
yes, I do. It was one of the first things we watched.
And you know how it's always about the behind the scenes and the drama?
Aye.
Well, there's got to be another documentary, but no Nickelodeon.
Cartoon Network.
Jerry Springer.
Oh,
There's got to be a
Jerry-
you even
Jer-
remember Jerry Springer? You don't, do you?
Who?
You would know who Jerry
You.
Springer.
Me?
You would know anything about Jerry. Yeah, you didn't
Aye.
watch Jerry Springer
I
on
did
like
watch Jerry
ITV like
Springer.
11.
Jerry.
Always like really weirdly edited, so it didn't make any sense. Like at the end of the episode, there's like 40 people on stage. You're like, what? Who are they? And then like later on, years later, well, not that we were stupid at the time. It's like pretty sure this is fake. And then later years later, finding out, yeah, it was all faked.
Remember when
Um,
Austin Powers made a scene where
That's right. Yeah.
aye, so Jerry Springer, I don't know what the documentary is actually be called, but it's getting a 2-part documentary. It's coming to Netflix on January 7th, showing the shocking behind the scenes of the show. So it's
I
gonna be
think
like
I'd be more interested to watch Jeremy Kyle behind the scenes.
that was another thing I was thinking about was why is Jeremy Kyle not got one yet?
Did he not? He got us a couple of exposés because he kind of like lost everything when they had the someone
Yeah.
committed suicide, did they not? Because of being on his show.
Yeah.
Like some
because-
of them go on TikTok live.
The big issue I've got with all these kind of shows is that it wasn't never something I really watched at the time, but like they relied quite a lot on like the truth machines, what they call the lie detector tests.
Yeah.
And knowing enough about them to know that they're utter bullshit, I'm like, what's the point of that then? Like, 'cause it's going to say something, but like, it's all make believe. Like, that's why you're not allowed to use them in courts. Like, oh, they're like 60, like 80% effective. No, they're not. Like, I spent 5 minutes looking into it, and even the guy that created them was like, you shouldn't use them for lie detecting. It doesn't work. But because there's this whole industry that pretends they're real, they pretend they're real. So, you know, you lose credibility the second fucking Trisha whips out the fucking lie detector. Like, shut up, Trish, you know what you're talking about.
I miss Jeremy Kyle.
It was garbage viewing, man. I suppose it was a good thing for, you know, unemployed people to get a couple hundred quid and get a wee night out in Manchester.
Right.
All it costs you is your dignity and potentially your girlfriend and your kids. You know,
price
apart
to
from-
pay.
A small price to pay for a night out in Manchester and £500 cash. Yeah. It's when they said, like, oh, we'll put you onto our team that will help like, with the counselling. It's like, there's no way ITV were paying for a counselling team that was going to provide a lot of support after that TV show. I don't believe you. Like, yeah, they give you, like, the Samaritans number or something.
Is
But
that
yeah.
all of your news?
I've got one more. So I don't know,
Okay.
did any of you watch the 28 Years Later trailer?
Yes.
No.
I don't watch trailers, but I did.
What did you think of it?
Don't know why they skipped 28 months later. I'm guessing it's just because it's been a long time since they made the last one.
Well, maybe weeks, wasn't it? About a week.
Days, weeks, and then went straight to years. Yeah, it was fine. The virus appears to have changed because in the first movie, if you remember, Cillian Murphy kind of was hanging out somewhere remote, and all the zombie people were like starving to death. Because like they weren't eating properly because they were just like, I'm so hungry. And also, so like for them to kind of come back, I don't really understand how they're still going 28 years later.
Well, I think
Because they're not really dead. They're not zombies. They're like rage virus. But you know, the human body would die of dehydration in like what 3-4 days.
Well, remember, like,
So I don't know how it's still
viruses evolve.
Mhm.
Remember, that's a thing. So I'm guessing they'll explain all sort of stuff how it's evolved.
Well, they have to, yeah, because the zombies would have to hydrate and they'd have to eat. Because let's say they're getting a bit of nourishment from like eating people. But like, how does that work in the long term? Like, are they eating enough people to go for 28 years? That seems unlikely. And like, they're just running the whole time. Like, you know, they would fall over and break their bones. They can't be taking that good concern. It's like they're sheltering when it's cold. But I'm assuming they'll explain all this in the film.
Well, this was no
It's a
part of the
film.
story, but this is
You've got to, if you make rules, you've got to stick by them. You can't be like, oh, I made a film, and here's the rules of zombies, but then we're gonna make another film and ignore all the rules of zombies. That's ridiculous. So what you're not making a sequel, then you're making a different movie, and it's just you have to at least pay it lip service. You are right though, Sally, because see in most movies, Terminator famously doesn't do it. Blade doesn't do it. There's probably a million other examples where they set out some rules and either break them by the end of the movie or they break them completely in the sequel. But you know, words.
But this was the thing I was going to say. Have you ever seen that? Have you rewatched 28 Days, like recently, or maybe a couple of years?
Before I go further, there was something I had to mention. At the end of the trailer, there's a quick shot of what looks like zombie Cillian Murphy. But it turns out I've seen an article today saying that's not him. So apparently that caused a big uproar because like, he's a zombie.
It was a mod.
But apparently that isn't him. So I don't know if maybe that's like that could be a dream sequence. It could be any number of things because it does look exactly like him except the zombie, all skinny and stuff. But sorry, Logan, what were you saying?
So have you seen 28 Days recently? Like
no, not for years.
For years now. How long has that been?
I think the first one would have came out maybe 2002, 2003, and the second one maybe 2007, if I had to guess.
So it turns out 20 days you can't get it on any streaming services like video on demand platforms, anything like that. The only way you can get it is through DVD and Blu-ray versions, but they're also out of print, so people try to resell them for like £60 and all sorts of stuff on eBay. Which
That's
I think
incredible.
Why is it not on streaming services?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's more baffling. 'Cause it's like a film. I feel like you'd need to go and have a watch, but it turns out you can't get it anywhere.
Sometimes it's like complicated rights issues, like it was made by somebody who got bought by somebody who got bought by somebody, but then the rights revert to someone else, so nobody knows who owns it. So they just don't do anything with it for a while till they work out like the legalities. But you think with the third movie coming out, they would certainly want to do something with it.
Well, hopefully they do release it or like a 4K release or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
That's
my
weird.
news for that. That's all my news.
Do you remember the second movie at all?
Never seen it.
Second movie. Robert Carlyle's in it, friend of the podcast, and Jeremy Renner's in it.
Oh, Rayner's in it?
Renner's in it.
That's a weird combination.
Hold on a second, let me just double check Jeremy Renner's in it, because I might be lying.
It looks like him.
28 weeks. Ooh. Later. Yep, Jeremy Renner. Rose Byrne's in it as well. Imogen Poots. Jesus Christ. A cast. Yeah, there's a split. Well, I won't ruin it for you in case we end up watching it. But yeah, very young Jeremy Renner's in it. And yeah, he's like an American soldier, and he does some stuff, and then stuff happens. It doesn't go well for him. But, you know, zombies. But yeah, Robert Carlyle's in it, which is weird.
Well, was Danny Boyle directing that? Did he direct the second film?
Yeah, I think it's his franchise. I think he has the whole thing.
That'll probably why, because it's like Tarantino with sorry, I'll rephrase that. Martin Scorsese with like De Niro. That's what it's like.
Why?
Because Robert Carlyle has been in Trainspotting, The Beach.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry, I actually forgot about Danny Boyle's early career. Then I couldn't remember anything else he'd done. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, he was in those. He was in Slumdog Millionaire as well. He played the little Asian kid, didn't he?
Not seen it.
But I assure you, it's not Robert Carlyle playing the little Asian kid. That'd be weird.
Be hilarious.
Oh, like I think you maybe miscast this guy. Nah, it'll be perfect. You can do any accent. So yeah, I take to hear early 2000s Robert Carlyle Indian accent would have probably got us cancelled just for talking about it these days.
I really like Robert Carlyle is Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time. He's brilliant.
Do you know why he?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going
to tell you a fun fact. You shut up, Logan. Okay. Fun fact about Robert Carlyle is the reason he moved to America is because he couldn't get consistent work over here because there just wasn't enough movies made, and because he's quite an in-demand actor, he didn't like having to fly back and forward, so he moved across to America and ended up in all these TV shows because he just wanted consistent work. I thought that's like such a working class way of looking at things. He's like, nah, I need more work.
He's a Yorkshireman, of course he's got working class blood in him.
Yeah.
Is he Yorkshire?
I'm pretty sure he's Glasgow. I think she's gone mental. Look at the Yorkshireman in the Full Monty though.
Well,
yeah, maybe that's where I've got it.
I don't know if you've ever seen that terrible film, The Legend of Barney Thompson.
No.
Okay, well,
How dare you?
It was Robert Carlyle basically as like a killer barber, and he literally filmed that just round the corner for me, and it's so weird to see my area just literally being on a film.
Robert Carlyle born in Merry Hill, by the way.
He's a Rangers fan and all, so that's why I like him.
Oofed.
But he's 63, Jesus.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, like, it's 2024, and he was an adult man, like, in 2000, so...
I think the first film I remember him in was probably The Full Monty.
I remember him as Begbie in Trainspotting, and that's like my earliest. I mean, he's been in so much. I mean, he's just one of those actors that was just in everything for years. Everything from like some bullshit like indie project that nobody watched to like massive Hollywood blockbusters. But, like, that's weird. It's like, I guess he's just like working, but you know, got bills to pay. Why wouldn't he? So what we talking about? Just Robert Carlyle. This has been Robert Carlyle cast.
That's all the film is. I had. That's it.
Mm.
So we can start with either film.
Either. We've got 3.
Aye.
Threever is what he said.
Either aye. So
Jingle All the Way. Let's start with that one.
Oh, let's get that out the way.
Yeah.
Fucking right now.
Okay. Hold on. No, wait.
Right, give us your fucking plot summary of this
Right.
turd.
The dog's wanting out. Right, you need to get in your bed, let me do this, and then I'll sort you out.
I saw you man.
So, Jingle All the Way is literally, I've got to say it as the title, but it's not. It's obviously about a guy who loves his son, and he wants to get him the most popular toy, and they get some but over the holiday season. What could you not love about this film?
Shit, mate.
Fuck you.
There ain't no way. So I think as a kid, I've watched this film and I thought it was really funny and I really enjoyed it. Watching it as an adult, I'm like, fuck, it's so cheesy. It's ridiculous. The acting in it is atrocious. The storyline of going out on Christmas Eve and getting that toy is ridiculous. The fact that he was an absolutely shit dad. But he wanted to be a great dad just because he got a toy.
What?
No.
Does that not seem realism though?
No.
Right. Speaking as a dad, no.
Okay.
But is there anything you want to say? What do you want to say about the film? Well, you must have some stuff to say about the movie.
Right.
Like,
So,
I mean, if you want, I'll start tearing it apart right now. But if you've got some stuff you want to say, first of all, why did you pick this movie? Why did you do this to us? Why did you ruin Christmas?
hold on. It's a great
You
film.
Grinch.
It's a great film. You've got Arnie
Right.
as a family man. 2, you've got that wee guy for Star Wars. I can't remember his name.
Jake Lloyd
It's got
as his son.
a couple of good cameos, which I've got a list there, which I'll get to.
I was hoping you'd have the cameos because that was one of the better parts of the movie. Was it was some cameos, and even some cameos by not yet famous people.
Yeah, and you've got Sinbad. How do you not love Sinbad as an actor?
I would say Sinbad was the only one not phoning in this performance. I will give him that.
Okay. Well,
Right, everyone else
did you know
could have just been shouting the lines or just have a script in front of them, just being like. Anyway, continue.
Did you know he improvised his lines with Arnie?
I can only imagine how bad at improvising Arnold Schwarzenegger was. Also, mid-90s Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
who had, like, was very bad. In Arnie's defense, Arnie actually became a better actor as he got older. Like, you know, there's, like, he becomes, like, there's nuance to him.
Mhm.
In the mid-90s, someone handed him a script for a Christmas film, and he was like, okay, I will do it. And then that was it. And they just read the
Took a
lines.
chopper.
Put the cookie down! All that stuff, you know. I didn't realise that was from that movie, although I should have known that. Put the cookie down! Right, so I didn't know he improvised his line, but Sinbad's a comedian, so it makes sense that he would have improvised his lines.
Mhm.
Like, he does that little rant right at the front of the, like, just before he goes in the shop,
Mhm.
and that seemed like a very off-the-cuff, I'm a funny guy saying funny things. The scenes with him were more watchable than the rest of it. Also, you're not going to mention Phil Hartman at all, the neighbour.
Do you know that's the only
Oh
person
my
I've
God.
not done yet?
Right, so you know who Phil Hartman is?
No.
No.
SNL,
Right. Say that again?
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live, more famously, The Simpsons. I'm Troy McClure from such films as... Right.
I knew I recognised his voice. I'm like, why
Right.
do I know this
Oh,
voice? Why do I
yeah,
know
that
it?
made me
That's
realise.
why you're right. Phil Hartman was a very famous and an up-and-coming like, rising star in the 90s. He was killed by his wife.
In real life?
Oh shit!
In real life, he was
Was it
killed
over
by
Christmas
his wife.
cookies?
Over Christmas cookies. Kind of. Over cocaine.
Wait,
I cannot believe you didn't look this up.
wait,
Like, I
are you
thought,
saying
I'm not
the
going to look in...
piss?
No, this is real.
No,
I can't believe you did... What?
I feel you're literally just saying this. Oh, let's prank Logan. I don't believe
No.
this.
Right. Fucking feel free to Google it, I guess.
Right.
But no, Phil Hartman, very famously, he was like a rising star, SNL, he'd done news radio,
Aye.
he was in The Simpsons as Troy McClure, and he had this wife that he got, and she fucking hated him. They had this like really toxic relationship, and she was terrible to him. She would embarrass him in front of his friends. He was awful, but he would keep going back to her because he loved her, and she had like a real cocaine problem. In the end, she kills him. I think she shoots him and then shoots herself. You'd have to
Aye.
Google that part.
Bryn shot and killed him,
Yeah.
and later he killed himself.
No, he didn't kill himself.
No, it says
She killed him.
Bryn Omdal, and it's a
Fuck's
he.
sake, right.
Wait, what?
seconds. Phil Hartman.
After
Phil-
2 divorces, Hartman married Bryn Omdal, with whom he had
Right.
2 children. In 1987, their marriage was troubled due to Phil's busy work schedule, and Bryn struggled in alcohol abuse in 1998.
Right. Hartman's wife, Bryn, visited Tab, blah, blah. The producer, right, blah, she's good frame of mind.
It was a dude.
After no, it's not a dude, it's a woman. Hartman's wife, Bryn, after returning, Bryn had a heated argument with Hartman after which she went to bed. She entered the room, and as she slept, she fatally shot him once between the eyes and once in the throat and once in the upper chest with a 38
Oh,
Smith
sorry,
&
that's
Wesson.
herself. Dyslexia.
Hartman was 49 years old. Bryn was taking Zoloft, had been drinking alcohol, and recently used cocaine. She then drove herself and confessed it, but blah, 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 blah. She then shot herself. Yeah.
She looks like a fucking psycho, man.
But yeah, if you read this, like if you go into depth in it, it's something I heard in a podcast years ago. But yeah, they had this really terrible relationship, but they kind of stuck together for a long time. And then yeah, she killed him and then killed herself. It's really sad. But yeah, and actually, what year was that? That would have been in 1998, so it was 4 years after it. So it wasn't because of that movie. You shouldn't watch that movie and think you need to be punished for this.
It's like, I know a lot of people don't like it, but come on.
Her last words was like, jingle all the way.
You know what?
But anyway, it's really sad.
The story was actually based on the 1980s, the Cabbage Patch dolls, but however, it ended up perfectly mimicking the Tickle Me Elmo craze of Christmas in 1996 when the film came out.
I mean, to be fair, it's like I would have assumed it was something. There's a good, nice one, Sally. What year did Toy Story come out?
1995.
No, is that really as late as that?
I think it was.
Yeah, absolutely bang on, mate. 1995. Because I would have assumed, if I had to guess what happened, I'd have guessed that it was to do with the Buzz Lightyears, because the Buzz Lightyears all sold out. But I mean, holiday toys sell out. That's like a common story.
Mhm.
But anyway, so Phil Hartman was in it, and then he was brutally killed by his wife years later. So, what other fun things about this film do you want to tell us?
Producer Christopher Columbus wanted Joe Pesci to play Sinbad's character, Myron. But
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
he was too short for the role, although he was 5 feet 3 inches, next to Arnold, who is 6 feet and 2 inches. But Arnold obviously done 2 films with Danny DeVito, who is even shorter than Pesci.
I think on camera, though, because a couple of times they've got to be... Sorry, Sally, I've talked a lot.
No, it's okay. I was just saying that it was twins. I like that film.
Twins and Junior. I think there's a couple of times that Sinbad's got to be quite physical with Arnie, though, and would you believe a 5'3" guy hitting Arnie with anything would stop him?
But they could easily.
I think he played it really well, though.
Sinbad or Arnie?
I did, yeah, Sinbad. I think his character was quite funny.
I maintain he was the best part of the film was Sinbad, because he didn't seem like he was just reading his lines. He seemed like he was putting effort in. Arnie was fucking dire the whole way through the movie. Like appallingly bad. I'm not going to slag the effects or anything. It was 1994, so that's what effects looked like back then. I did like the whole him being Turbo Man. The fact that his kid couldn't recognize him because he had a hat on. I was like, what's going on here? Like, I mean, that was very clearly Arnold Schwarzenegger in that. Like, he is a noticeable guy. Like, he does not have a generic face. Like, it's like, if I walked by Arnold in the street, I'd be like, that's clearly Arnold Schwarzenegger. You could have a beard on and a hat and glasses and a scarf. I'm like, that's clearly Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Do you know what Turbo Man was modelled after?
Oh, no.
The Flash.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. Same colour scheme, yeah. I'd have thought Iron Man, but again, Iron Man would have been possible. So it's a kind of combination of them both. Fair enough.
I like that costume. Like, that's probably, out of Marvel and DC, it's a cool-ass costume.
I mean, again, for a 90s costume, it was completely adequate. Yeah, I could have believed that was a mid-90s superhero. I could imagine watching that early morning cartoon.
This was another thing I never knew it was even real. Was see the toy Sinbad talks about the Johnny
Hmm.
The Johnny 7 OMA gun. That
Mhm.
was a real gun back in the 1960s,
Hmm.
which was also like one of the hottest selling toys for Christmas. So
It
everything
kinda-
he describes is down to a T, like even the commercials.
See, that again seemed like an ad lib. That seemed like something Sinbad would just like boom straight into it.
Aye.
Like maybe they gave it some thought beforehand, but that just seems like something he would just have reeling, and he would just like do like he probably done like a 5-minute bit in it, and they cut it down or something. But absolutely, it seemed real. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, as we've said, Sinbad was the best thing in that movie.
Well, here's my
Um,
question.
Mhm.
During Christmas time, what was the both of yours the biggest toy of the year that everybody wanted when you were a wee guy?
Gordon the Gopher was the first and only toy I remember being desperate for and did not get. Would you like to know why I didn't get it?
Because you were a dick.
Too
Because my
expensive.
dad thought it would be gay. True story.
Aw.
Didn't get it because my dad thought it was gay to get a puppet. So I did not get Gordon the Gopher. I was told expressly I was not getting Gordon the Gopher. It was the hottest selling toy that year, and everybody had a fucking Gordon the Gopher apart from me. He was just some rags that squeaked. That's all he was. Fucking loved Gordon the Gopher.
What about you, Sam?
Although if I got it now, I'd be annoyed because
Um,
that's a piece of shit.
I think mine would have been them fairy things that you pull the string on and it flies. I wasn't
Did-
allowed one. I never got one, and I think it was probably because my mum and dad were like, "There's no point in that," and I also had a dog.
They got banned because I'm pretty sure some kids got either blinded or smacked in the face. 'Cause I'm pretty sure like they would and like they would hit people.
Yeah, but they've sort of come back now.
Yeah, the safer
And I
versions of
remember,
them.
yeah, I got my daughter one. It was a Hatchimals fairy thing, and I like took it outside. I was really excited to show her it. And I went, "Oh, Molly, look!" And I like pulled the string outside, and it fucking went.
And the legend says it's still flying to this day.
No,
as
no.
it
So
slowly
it
orbits
landed
the
in one
Earth.
of my neighbours' gardens, and
Oh,
they
nice.
put it on their fence. But they found it in their garden like 2 weeks later or something. And my son was riding around on his bike and found it and brought it home.
I found it. It orbited the Earth and landed back in the
Yeah.
garden. No, that's nice. What about
Yeah,
your Logan? Was the
but-
most popular thing for you?
I'm stuck between two
PlayStation.
here because obviously
You
that
can tell us
era,
on both, man. It's our podcast. You can say what you like.
the PS2,
Oh, yeah,
PS3 kind of consoles came out. They were the most like, oh, I need that. Even the PS4s.
I remember
But
there was literally news articles about how rare the PS2s were going to be because like it was like you're not going to get these things.
aye.
Um,
I feel like they sat everything for the PlayStation because it had to.
It was really true with the PS5s because they
Oh,
literally couldn't make the chipboards fast enough. The PS2, that was like a whole thing. And again, in retrospect, I think they probably done that to drive up the sales of it. But I remember people having to put down like hundreds of pounds to like get themselves a PS2.
It took
that
me
was
a
massive,
fucking
yeah.
year to get one.
Really, eh?
Aye. It's the worst thing because my PlayStation 4 was on its last legs. Like you kept saying, "Oh, the
Or
data was
PS5 you still
corrupted
have it,
and
right?
all sorts of stuff." So I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
got one in time. I was like, "Thank God."
It's, I'm trying to think if there's anything else massive when I was getting. I mean, again, it's so fuzzy because it's so long ago. The Gordon the Gopher thing sticks in my mind because I was genuinely upset about that. After that, it was just like bikes and stuff that I got. Like proper like useful toys.
Aye.
Whereas now, like video games and that, like kids can't not get them because you just get a digital copy if you can't get it.
I could think another one. Transformers, when that became a thing again, was when they done like crossovers between like Star Wars, so you can have like I think it was like Darth Vader, but you can turn him into the Death Star. That was like a big thing as well.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I was obviously too old for that at that point, so they're not old enough, like either not young enough but not old enough to care. So like, I hadn't came round again.
Yeah, see, I was quite spoilt as a young child because I was the only girl, and my mum and dad are my mum and dad, but my brothers are my mum's kids, and my dad's kids. So I'm the only one that actually grew up with a mum and dad.
So, Logan, what's your fun cameos that we haven't talked about then?
So, this kind of surprised me when I was rewatching it. So, the normal ones, Jim Belushi was the mall Santa.
Yep.
You had the Big Show as Huge Santa,
Mhm.
which I want to come back
I love
to
the
in
Big
a
Show.
second. We had Vern Troyer as Mini Santa.
Was that Vern Troyer, the tiny little one?
Yeah, that was him.
I did not know
Yeah.
that.
For some reason, it doesn't show you on the cast list, but you had to do like a bit of research. Cause I was like, I wonder who that was. But the Big Show one, see if you think about it, some of the WWE wrestlers make a good couple of cameos in Santa Christmas films. So you've got
Mhm.
Hulk Hogan in Gremlins 2.
Mhm.
You have,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of top of my head because I've lost my list. Hulk Hogan also made a Christmas film himself. You've got John Cena in Daddy's Home 2.
Mhm.
And there's someone else.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, sometimes like the joke is usually they are a huge Santa, or like huge man has to save Christmas. So
Mhm.
like popular celebrities. I mean, that makes sense. And like again, when you've got Arnie, you need to get a real big guy to like be against Arnie. He's not actually billed as the Big Show. He's Paul Wright, but he's not something else. Like he's got a different he's not called the Big Show. I forget what it was though, because I thought Logan will write that down, so I don't need to know.
But the
So I did
Big
look
Show's
for his
real
name. Well, I know it's Paul White. I know that's his actual name.
Aye.
Um,
I just wrote it as the Big
but
Show.
fair enough. He's called Paul Wright. Is either Paul Wright or Paul White? I can't remember. But yeah, that was a good one. The Jim Belushi one was quite good as well.
I think that was before his brother died, I want to say.
Before the Big Show, the brother.
No, Jim Belushi.
Oh, you mean Jim Belushi? Oh yeah, the other guy, the other Belushi, he
Was it
died.
John died in the
Oh.
80s one? No,
I was
70s.
gonna say he. I don't know. John Belushi, I think, was the 80s. Hold on.
I should know this, but I don't. Because
Well,
he died at the same...
82. Jesus, 82.
What was it, 70s?
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, he died. He died 19 days before I was born.
Oh. Now you'll remember this every
No, I
time
won't
you-
never remember that game, but that's interesting. Yeah.
Right, so do you know? I'll make you guess it. How much do you think the budget was?
Oh, for that movie, 1994 money, surely not that high. I would say
5 million.
I'd say 30. Most of which would be spent on Arnie.
Oh, you're right on that, by the way. 60 million.
Really?
So,
60 million for that
60
movie?
million. But how much do you think Arnie got for that? Just to
I'd
get it?
guess 20. 20, 25. I'm going to say 20 because you've got to pick a number.
35.
Lee's literally bang on the ball. 20 million.
I know that. The reason I know that is because in the 90s it became a thing for like your big stars. There was like somebody got the 20 million, and after that, all the big stars wanted 20 million a movie. And I think it went as high as 25. And as time went on, they started getting money in the back end and that because like we can't double the budget of a production to get Arnie in this or whoever. So it's changed. But I think he was one of the big stars that they would agree to pay like 20 million.
I think you will be surprised with us. How much do you think it grossed at?
Oh, I'd imagine it'd been fairly popular, but it's 1994.
80
so
million.
I'm going to say 100. I feel that's too much. I'm going to say 75.
129.8 million.
God damn it. I knew I should have went higher.
That's quite a lot for like...
It's a Christmas movie though, and it makes sense because Arnie was like the biggest star of that time period. So that'd be like his first Christmas movie. And I don't know if it set the formula for Christmas movies after that, but how many Christmas movies have you seen that follow that exact formula?
No.
Parent tries to make good to kids by buying, and then learns the true meaning of Christmas is actually just turning up and being a dad. It's like it hit all the beats of, Christmas movie, like the elements of slapstick in it and that as well, like the fights, the people are like spinning off their feet and all that kind of stuff. No one's really in any danger. They get blown up by a bomb and they're just like their hair sticking up, all that kind of stuff. It was very slapsticky Christmas, which again, it's a Christmas movie and it's a family movie, so it absolutely should be that. It'd be really weird if it was super violent, like the film I picked.
I have a full circle research for this wee fact, right?
Go then.
So Do you remember the Arnie wearing like a big purple T-shirt and it said Atlantic Olympic on it?
No.
No.
I remember him wearing
feel
like a
like I
brown coat the whole
do.
film.
So this weirdly connects. So during the time that film came out, like 1996, so Arnie actually
Mhm.
appeared at the Atlanta Olympics 1996 to announce his screening of his film The Eraser with Vanessa Williams. So I think that was kind of cool. It's such a full circle moment with that. So
Cool.
I don't know if this
Mhm.
T-shirt was intentional or it was going to the Olympics at the time or that was pre or before. I thought it was just pretty cool to know.
Do you think him knocking out the reindeer was a callback to the Conan movie?
I didn't think about that.
I assumed that, like, because when he fought that reindeer, I thought that must be them making a wee nod to the Conan movie because he knocks out a camel.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, you can't really have a Christmas camel, but you can have a Christmas reindeer. So I thought that's what they were like. Hey, look, it's Arnie.
Yeah.
The neighbour pissed me off in that film.
What, in this film or in Arnie
In
Conan?
Jingle All the Way.
The kind of slimy neighbour that was trying to move in on Arnie's wife. Yeah, what I thought was weird about that, right, is I didn't understand his motives because literally every woman was throwing themselves at him, and like not to be
Apart from
horrible,
her.
but apart from her, and they were all of at least equal hotness to her. I'm like, so why is he specifically trying to like pick on the man that could clearly fold them into like a ball, and then just like?
But it was because he wanted what he couldn't have.
Because he seemed a little bit embarrassed when other women were like throwing themselves at him. I was like, but why would he not just go with them? Like, I don't know. Again, for the sake of the movie, I get it, but also it's like oh, I need this happy family he's got, but he already had a son, so I don't know. It just seemed weird.
Well, speaking of Rita Wilson, by the way, she actually got nominated for twice in two different awards for being the worst supporting actress for that film.
Hey. I mean, she was terrible in it. I mean, every actor apart from Sinbad was terrible in it.
Yeah. Only got one for worst actor, and then the film got nominated for the most painfully unfunny comedy.
Yeah, I mean, again, the only bits I laughed at was a couple of Sinbad bits, and the rest of it I sat there in just sad silence. Do you want to give us any trivia of this movie so we can move on?
That's all I got.
That you got? Cool.
There was so much, so I was like, I'm going to try and cut this down as much as I can.
There was I can only imagine. I deliberately didn't go and look at any of the stuff because I thought if I do, I'll start rhyming it off, and I didn't want to. But I can only imagine it was absolutely chock full of like crazy trivia. Okay, cool. Sal, let's talk about your sad film.
So I picked the 2019 Last Christmas film with Emilia Clarke. It's about a girl who is working in a Christmas shop dressed as an elf, which I think is like one of the best jobs ever. And she's trying to make it as a singer, but has lost her voice and she doesn't know where it's gone or anything. And as the film progresses, obviously she's befriended this man, and it's very cleverly filmed, I think. And it turns out that she's got a heart condition, and she ends up sort of, it's a bit like a Grinch story. Her heart grows like 3 sizes and she starts helping the needy and things like that.
That was the original problem. Her heart grew 3 sizes. They had to give her a new one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it was just, normally I can foresee the plot of a film, but I've never actually watched that film. So while I was watching it, I'm like, there's something odd about this boy. I couldn't put my finger on what it was. And then when it all came out that obviously, I don't know, can I spoil it? It's
Spoilers for a movie that is old that we every week we talk about all the movies. Right, spoilers. Right, if you're still watching, it's your fault. Right, go.
So obviously she got given this boy's heart and she's like visiting the ghost of Christmas past. And when that all came out, I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, okay. I kind of get it because nobody ever sees him. Nobody ever sees her with him. So it was like once that was revealed, it was like,
He just turns up out of
Um,
nowhere, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was quite a nice story. I love the fact that when she started singing outside the church, singing her Christmas songs, and then the little old man starts joining in and the money grows. That really obscene old lady's like, fuck off. You're
Yeah.
not welcome here, fuck off.
You're all a bunch of wankers, now get inside. Yeah, she was good. Um,
But yeah, I just thought it was a nice film. It was sad, but I thought the overall message of it was quite sweet.
I'm with you. I see as soon as I put it on, I was like, it's gonna be a sad movie. At first, I thought it was that. And for see the first 5 minutes, I was like, I'm gonna hate this. And then she shagged that bloke she'd met in the pub, and I thought that was really funny. I thought that was a really funny way to start the movie. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this because that is like the best way they could introduce her. Just like immediately falls for this guy, and then she goes back, pumps it. It turns out he's married, and his wife just turns up the next day, and she's like, and I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, that was good.
And she's like, I'm the plumber.
Like straight away, she's like, she's first opener. That was a good. I thought that's a really good opener. It's very amusing, and made me want to watch the rest of the movie. I didn't. I will say one thing. I didn't buy her as like former Yugoslavian Croatian. I'm like, I don't think she looks in any way like she's Eastern European. Emma Thompson, however, I thought she made a great. Like, I think she like went, yeah, I'm going to go and look at Yugoslavian people, see what they look like, and get made up to look like one. But I don't know if maybe that was part of it because she was trying so hard to be English. So I don't know if maybe that was
Emma
meant to be part of
Thompson's
it.
who wrote this.
I did see that, yes. So with her writing partner, so her writing partner, her husband as well.
Yeah.
And it was directed. I'm not going to throw the fan facts. That's your job. I did look up some facts because I kept recognizing names. I'm like, I'm going to see who that is.
Yeah.
What happened with my view of it is I did watch it, and as I mentioned to you guys off stream, Yvonne had mentioned to me that it was a sad film. And I was like, why this doesn't seem sad. This seems to be going quite well for her. And then they started talking about the heart condition, and he touched the chest, and he kind of like had an expression on his face. And I was like, she's got his heart, hasn't she? And she was like, maybe. And I'm like, But then I did tear up a bit. That's a good hat. But even then, at the end, the big reveal, I did feel myself kind of tearing up. So that's dead sweet. He's like came back from beyond the grave to try and help her because she has to take care of his heart. But he was kind of like implying that he was in love with her. I did think that when she got the phone, there was going to be something on it, like it'd be a picture of her or something, or maybe him like talking to himself. Okay, tomorrow you're going to speak to the girl in the shop or something. But that wasn't. I thought that's a weird. Like, why set the phone up? It's in like, why set that up the whole way through the movie and then not have any payoff for it whatsoever? I don't know, maybe it was cut, maybe it was too convoluted, I don't know, but I assumed that's what they were talking about with the phone. And also anything with Michelle Yeoh in it. That was an incredibly funny scene. See when she's like, well, I'm called Santa because it's a Christmas shop, and I was called Kitty because it's like, all the names are kind of vaguely sexy.
I love that.
And I'm like, I mean, Michelle Yeoh, if she told me her name was Muffin or Muff, I'd be like, I'd have to go and have a lie down. Because she's wonderful.
Santa's a sexy name.
It was when she says it's a sexy name. Fucking Michelle Yeoh told me she's called Santa. I'd be like, yeah, you fucking are. But then the kitty
on your lap.
Yeah, she was great. I did think it was weird that she was in it. I was like, how did they get Michelle Yeoh? Like, did they just like phone her up and be like, "Do you want to be Santa?" And maybe she's like, "Yes." Just turned up.
Maybe she's best friends with Emilia Clarke or Emma Thompson.
I figured this was maybe like a kind of like paid for with some Chinese money because the fella lead as well was a very handsome Asian fellow. I was like,
Oh, do you mean the guy?
Henry Gold.
The ghost. Yeah. Ted.
He was in
Webster?
The Gentleman, and that's how I knew him. And I was so thrown off because it was such a different role he played because he's like a bad guy in The Gentleman.
Yes. He's been in The Crazy Rich Asian, like Snake Eyes, The Gentleman.
Henry Golding's name is
very handsome fellow.
He is very handsome.
That for me, that on your phone.
It's got such a weird cameo as well. Like even Rob Delahaney makes an appearance.
Yeah, like really briefly. Like there's Rob Delahaney, and there's also Peter Seranovich. Either Mel or Sue, whichever one she is.
Sue Perkins.
Yeah, whichever one. Yeah, either
Aye.
Mel or Sue. Yeah, Sue Perkins. That's her name. Okay.
Yeah.
my
So what
son's open my
did
new
you watch it, Logan?
Now, I should
Oh.
have took the red flags at first. So there's a few people in my watch and I was saying and asked me, "Oh, you doing podcasts?" I was like, "Aye." I said, "These are the films." I said, "Last Christmas," and some people are like, "Oh, I love that film." Now, the people that say that love that film are the people that I would watch out because they are fucked up in the head. That's all I've got to say about that. So I was like, okay, I'll still watch it. I'll enjoy it. It's a romance song, whatever. Same bit Lee gets to about the.
I have his new phone.
I got a new phone, guys. Right, thank you, Alex. We're streaming the wee man, so
That's
can we...
Tom's phone.
Right, come and give us a wave. Right, beat it or smash face in.
But
Right, okay.
I get to the bit where Lee gets to. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great then. And then I get to because it was kind of annoying me about the George Michael stuff. I was like, why is she really obsessed with George Michael?
So much George Michael stuff.
I've got reasons for that.
Alright.
Well, do your bit, Logan. Tell us your thing, and then you can.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this a thing? Because it's got to be like a whole joke about getting wham. Like, see that whole thing? Oh,
Wham
you
again.
fell last Christmas. That's what I thought. I was like, I'm going to kill Sally for this one. But do you know what it was like? The ending, Fight Club.
Oh, I mean, she does blow up the credit card company at the end of it, which was very unexpected.
No, like the whole like the way like Brad Pitt and Edward Norton is. I was like, so this is just Emilia Clarke and Henry Golden's just
kind of, but like in Fight Club, like that's his split personality, and he creates terrorist cells. And in this movie, the ghost of her heart's previous owner gets her to eat better and be kinder to people.
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue that they're different things, Logan.
What's the opposite of fight? Defend Club. Defend Club.
Love.
This is Defend Club.
Okay. Anyway. Right, so that's what you have to say is like it was too much like Fight Club for you.
Yeah, I liked it though. It was enjoyable.
Okay. Oh.
So the movie plot plays tribute to George Michael's anonymous work at homeless shelters, which I didn't know he did. Yeah. And Kate's heart condition and setting is reference to his death. So he died on Christmas from a heart attack.
Oh shit!
1 year before the movie was released, I believe.
And Wham's Andrew Ridgeley makes a cameo. And there's a book to go along with the film, Last Christmas: Memories of Christmas Past.
What I meant to say there was the film is set in I think 2016 or 2017, and he died the previous Christmas to that, not the actual film being released because it was 2019. I did read one bit of trivia. I was like, that's a good bit of trivia. Also, Andrew Ridley should have been the guy that Michelle Yeoh fell in love with. That'd have been a much better cameo for him.
That would have been cool, yeah.
But maybe he didn't want to do that. Like, I don't know. I don't know what his schedule's like. Maybe he's just too busy spending all that Wham money.
So, what do you think the budget was for it?
Oh, it can't have been much. It's a British film.
No, well, it's got some cameos in it, so
I'd imagine that they were working with people. I'm going to say it was low. I'm going to say 15 million.
I'm going to say about 30.
Logan's right.
Oh,
So
30 million on the nose.
yeah. What do you think the box office was? Yeah.
Christmas movie, Emilia Clarke, 80 million.
I'm going to say a low. I'm going to say about 10 million.
Ooh.
So it was 123 million.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's in 2000.
But I only saw this film I only saw it last year, and I thought, oh, that looks like a good film. I never actually watched it, but I didn't even know that it was out.
I think I've seen it on Netflix or something, because I'm pretty sure I've walked by Yvonne watching this exact movie. Because that's why I was thinking, I don't usually work things out that quickly. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I must have seen bits of this movie, or I've seen her crying and be like, what's wrong? And she's been like, fuck off, this film's sad. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. I know. I mean, it was good. It had me feelings. They didn't phone in their acting. They were all acting their little socks off, so I wasn't taken out the movie by how to. Oh, I forgot to say one thing about Jingle All the Way. Did you just watch the stinger at the end after the credits?
Oh, you talk. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Did you watch? So you did watch it.
No, but I know what you're
Sally,
talking
did you know there was an after credit scene in Jingle All the
No.
Way? There is one. He forgot to buy his wife a present as well. That's the joke.
Oh yeah, and he turns around and goes, "Oh," his face. Yeah.
Sorry, that just popped in there. Yeah, so like they acted like they're all really well acted. I liked all the characters. I like the woman that plays her sister. I can't remember her name, but I've seen her in lots of things. She's brilliant.
Yes.
That
was an interesting storyline. The fact that she was a lesbian and she was too scared to sort of admit it. Her parents.
Because her mum and dad must have been quite old school.
I wouldn't mind a different country, so it's gonna be old religion and all sorts of stuff.
I figured that, yeah. But no, I liked all that stuff. I did laugh aloud when they said about she'd made tiramisu. She's like, eat the lesbian pudding. I thought that was very, very funny. Because like, they both look suitably embarrassed. I'm like, yeah, you absolutely would if your mum said that. Because like, what else do you do?
I was going to say the dick bit.
The dick bit was very funny as well. Yeah. Go ahead, mate. I'm talking all time.
No, what was I going to say? There's something else I was going to say. To be fair, right, this might sound so mental. I didn't know they were going to be Czechoslovakian at first. I just thought it's an English family, like, this is going to be your usual kind of stuff. And then obviously you hear the accents. I was like, he's got a weird accent.
It was Yugoslavian they were, but then I think that became Croatia. But it that was a good wrinkle to put in. Like, it had that bit about Brexit as well, which I thought was nice. You know, when she sat in the bus and she's like, "That guy's a prick."
You know who else was sitting in the bus?
Who?
One of Tom Holland's brothers. I can't remember. Harry Holland. So like, give us some facts.
Gave you the facts.
Oh, I thought
they're facts.
Give us more.
I didn't write anymore. There wasn't that many, to be honest. How
did you just feel about the film overall? Did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it, but then I'm quite a sucker for a sad storyline. So,
can I ask, why did you pick this movie if you hadn't seen it before?
Because it was Christmassy and girly.
That was
and
it.
You picked my film that I was going to choose.
I think all of us were going to pick Violent Night, and I just picked it first.
I was about to go and pick Die Hard.
Yeah, you didn't. Instead, you picked Jingle All the Way, a film that we all hated.
I love that.
Lies. Okay, cool. Well, do you want me to talk about Violent Night then?
No.
Yes, go for it.
Okay, cool. So, Violent Night. I'll read you the plot synopsis because it's really short. When an elite team of mercenaries break into a family compound on Christmas Eve, a disgruntled Santa Claus must take them out to save both the hostages and his holiday. I love the fact that you've got more. That is cool. Add 1 of 4. That can't be right. Why have I got so many ads on?
Even the best one for last.
So, right, well, this film was, I first watched it a little while ago, and I'll be honest, the first time I watched it, I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I don't know what mindset I was in at the time, or whether I just wasn't paying attention. There's a possibility I put it on while I was playing the computer or something, but this time I thought I'm paying attention to it, because I like David Harbour. David Harbour?
Yeah.
Harbour.
And I like the kind of premise of this. So I'm gonna I gave it my full attention. I didn't do anything else at the same time. I sat and I watched it on my phone, weirdly, which is strange because I was sitting in the living room and the TV was right there, but I still chose to watch it on my phone. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, basically, angry Santa is getting disillusioned with Christmas, and then through the power of belief of a little girl that thinks he's who's on the nice list, he has to save her from a bunch of terrorists, and then things happen. But yeah, I thought this movie was great from start to finish. I really liked it. I liked it. I've got a lot of time for David Harbour. I feel like he's just one of those guys that's just had a career and has been in loads and loads of things. And then after Stranger Things, I'm like, I like that guy. And then everything else he's been in, apart from Hellboy, I'm not going to hold that against him. I've just enjoyed. But yeah, I really thought it was good from start to finish. And I thought the set pieces were good. I thought the way he took out the baddie at the end was great. I really enjoyed everything about it. What about you guys though? How did you feel?
can I ask a quick question?
Mhm.
What do you think about the flashback?
The flashbacks to when he was a Viking. Actually wish I'd wrote down the name, but I can't remember. It was like Nikolaus the Red or something.
Mhm.
I thought they were good. They looked cheap, which I thought was the kind of like. I guess they had to do them, but clearly they didn't want to spend much money. But yeah, like it gave you enough. Like yeah, he was an angry guy, and then he, discovered the meaning of Christmas and became, Santa. But yeah, I liked that. I thought it was cool. Give him a bit of a fun myth to go to.
What did you think of them, Logan?
Do you know what? Since I'm in the spirit, I'll let Sally go.
I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was quite good. I hadn't seen it before, so I'd watched it for the first time, and I thought how like disillusioned he was. He was just like, "Fuck this shit, give me the cookies. That's all I want." And I thought it was great. The fact that he's obviously been doing this for years, and then it's like we all think that kids nowadays are spoiled little shits.
Yeah.
So does Santa. Yay! we can relate, mate. And I thought it was really good. The like actor son-in-law and the daughter, and she's like, "Oh, Mum, I've got you this present. Look, it's a screenplay that you can pay for." I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, the kids like were played as like so shitty and terrible. That was fantastic. I also want to throw in the thing. It was like you could see him getting like when he was going round and like the list was like money, 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 video game, and he just hated every part of what he was doing, which was very, very funny. I did enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, would you?
And I really liked the fact that he was like this Viking that beat people up and smashed their heads in. It's like Santa who brings joy to the world.
Didn't start off that way.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also liked the costume. I thought the Santa costume was pretty good as well. Like if I was to dress as Santa, that's the Santa I'd want to dress as.
Yeah, he makes Santa hot. Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually one of my favourite parts of the movie was he gets like the broken nose and it bleeds out and he just keeps it the whole movie. He never wipes it off. He never cleans up. It's just there the whole way through. I thought that is fantastic because he does get there's a scene where he kind of like he stitches up his wounds and I thought he was gonna doesn't wipe his face, just leaves it because he's a Viking. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, yeah, I'm a fucking Viking, man. Like, yeah, this makes me look scary. I thought that was really cool. Anything else, Sal?
I like the fact that he was this big, mean, scary dude, but sort of melted for the little girl, and I thought that was very sweet.
I wish I'd written down what the nice list said about her. I know a couple of them. It's like kind to animals, listens to her parent, invited the weird kid to her birthday party. Like that was like that kind of stuff's like that's like because he's gonna leave. He was literally just gonna go, and then he picks up and he sees her, and she's like, "Fuck, I can't leave her. She's actually nice." So, and then when he whips out for like the naughty list, it's like murder and everything. You're like, well. So, because he doesn't feel bad, you'll notice at no point does he feel conflicted about killing anyone in the naughty list.
No.
Because there's a point later in the movie where some guy gets shot in the dick. You're like, oh, he's going to leave him. No, he kills him as well. Because like, no, he's bad. I can just, even though he is out the game, I can just murder him. So that's brilliant. Zero fucks given, Santa. Like Logan, what you got?
Do you know, actual? Although I did message in the group chat, I was like, for fuck's sake, no, this shit. It's still good. I mean, to me, it's not beating Fat Man. Although Fat Man came out the year before Violent Night. But the one thing that I was so surprised to see was what's their ma, who's Beverly
D'Angelo, yep.
She was in National Lampoons.
That's literally one of the bits of trivia I've written down. Yeah,
they also done a Christmas.
Christmas Christmas Vacation, I think it's called, or something like that.
So I was like, this kind of cool. Like she's doing another Christmas film, but a complete opposite character. Like, fuck this.
Oh yeah, she's such a bitch in it.
There's so many big casts because you also had John
John Leguizamo.
He was like the bad guy. I liked his character name, Scrooge. I thought, you know what, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Fun fact, they wanted to be called Mr. Grinch, but they couldn't get the licensing rights for the name The Grinch, so they had to change it to Scrooge.
I feel like Scrooge is more better.
Anyway. I mean, except I do remember thinking it's weird that none of them was called Grinch in the movie, but that's literally why, because they couldn't get the licensing for Grinch. But
some of them were kind of cool, like Krampus.
Krampus, I actually checked him out because he had one of those faces, like I know him from things, and I couldn't think what it was. But he's just one of those actors that turns up everywhere. He's called Brendan Fletcher. He was also in previous thing we've kind of watched, Ginger Snaps the Beginning. He was also in The Last of Us, which I don't remember him in. But he was in Freddy vs. Jason as well, and I do remember him in that. But he'd been very young at the time because that was like 2000 or something. So, but he's just like one of those kind of like those guys that look borderline crazy all the time. There's like those actors that's just their thing. They're just like the crazy guy. I'm like, yeah, he looks crazy. But yeah, what did you think of the action itself? How did you feel about the fight scenes?
I thought they were really good, but then I'm not like that fussy. I'm not a fighter, so I'm just like,
yeah.
I like them. Especially the Home Alone scenes with the nail and that. I was like, holy shit, this is not what I was expecting.
Now, the director was on record and he says that when he was growing up, Home Alone was one of his favourite movies. And then as he got older, like we all did, we're like, they would die. Like in Home Alone, they literally flamethrow somebody's head and he stands on nails and stuff and they get hit in the face with bowling balls and they just kind of get back up. But he was like, I want to do that exact same thing because she references Home Alone earlier in the film. And that's why she's giggling and everything. Because the film she's just watched, you just get back up and you're fine. Whereas actually, the actual fact, like he's getting the nail through the chin and everything. She gets hit in the vag at one point by the bowling ball, and she's like, ah! And then obviously it comes back and hits him. And he goes straight into the nails, which I thought was really, really funny. But that's why that's all in there. That's all a nod to Home Alone and what would actually happen to a human being. Because at one point he's got to pull himself off the nails in the carpet, and it looks unbelievably painful. And then there's a nail stuck in his ass. He put in just the blood pissing out of him. Like, yeah, that's fucked up. Like that would be real sore. I thought that was fantastic. That was that's what we all think when we watch Home Alone now. Going, yeah, you'd be dead.
Yeah, actually, cool.
But that's also that's how she remained on the nice list, despite the fact that she'd done it. It's because she didn't know that would happen. Otherwise, it's like, well, you just killed people. And then when she's like, turn around, face the wall, cover your eyes, and sing Jingle Bells so he can murder the woman. Because I thought he was going to let her go. He's like, no, she's on the naughty list. And you tried to tell an innocent child. I thought that was fantastic. But there's so many good bits like that. He's like, yeah, you've made your choice. This is a consequence of your choice. I thought that was brilliant. But yeah, I thought the action was really clever. Do you know why he has a problem with the first couple of fights?
Just for a second. The last with Scrooge, and they just fucking throws him at the chimney with the magic. Oh my god!
That I laughed out loud for like a solid 30 seconds when I seen it. Because I thought that is amazing. Just he's like, and he just drags him up, and you just see him get pulled apart, and he comes up. It's just the torso that's left. It's like, and he's laughing when he does it as well because he thinks it's brilliant. I thought that was like. Well done. No notes. But yeah, do you know why? Like the first couple of fights, he's not very good, and he kind of gets his ass kicked. Do you know why he gets better at fighting as it goes on?
No.
Because he starts to believe in himself again. He starts to believe in Christmas. Because he talks like he doesn't know how it works, but it's like seeing the little girl like starts speaking to him and believing him and knows he's there. It's her belief that lets him kill like a full elite unit of soldiers. Because he's told her who he is, and he's like, he's a fighter. So she believes that. So he's just murdering guys left and right because that's what she believes. Which I thought was the true meaning of Christmas is Santa will fuck your shit up. If you're me. So yeah, I thought all that was fantastic. But yeah, acting was great. Enjoyed it all. I've no notes. There was a few nods to Die Hard. Did you get them?
Was that the DVD scene?
What was the DVD scene?
You pause it the Blu-ray,
I never noticed that. That's a good one, Si.
Aye, so he pulls out it's when he's fighting the guy and he's getting stuff out the sack, they like try to use it as a weapon and he like throws a DVD and I think it's Die Hard. I think it's Die Hard
could
or
well be.
Home Alone.
I never noticed that one. Well, John Leguizamo is one of the nods that because he was a terrorist in Die Hard 2.
Oh, I've not seen Die Hard.
You've not seen Die Hard 2?
I only believe in the first one, and that's all it exists.
The second one's very good as well. The army unit turning out to be baddies is also directly from Die Hard 2. That happens in that movie. So that was your kind of two nods there. They also, what's the other one? There was two more. Yeah, when he says, "What are you, some security guard that's watched too many action flicks?"
Oh, yeah.
Hans Gruber says that to John McClane in the Die Hard movie.
As a child, you know, he says.
Yeah. So that's all Die Hard references, which I thought were. Oh yeah, another one was. Oh no, that's not right. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Thorpe, the leader of the soldiers, the guy that wrote the book that Die Hard's based on, which is called Nothing Lasts Forever, was by Roderick Thorpe. So that's where that comes from.
Which was
so that
also,
was like,
Die Hard was actually a sequel to Frank Sinatra's film.
That's right, because they had to offer that. They had to offer that role to Frank Sinatra first, who was an old man at that point. But legally, because he was contracted, they had to offer it to him first. And they're like, thankfully, he said no because he was old as fuck.
It'd be cool to see him doing that though.
Just this really like late 70s, like fucking gin soaked Frank Sinatra creaking his way around the building. Which yeah, I thought was good. But yeah, it was just a fun movie. Like I highly recommend it to everyone. I'll give you some more fun facts. What do you think its Rotten Tomatoes score is?
8.5.
I'll give you a fresh or rotten.
Fresh. No, hang on. Is fresh mean good or rotten?
Fresh means good. Fresh means good.
Certified.
Okay.
Certified.
I don't know, mate. Yeah, 74%. Anyway, we're getting too caught up in this. 74%. So people enjoyed it, although not as much as I'd have thought, because I'd thought they'd been a bit higher than that. The director was Tommy Wirkola, and you would know him from such films as Dead Snow 1 and 2. If you've seen the Nazi zombie films.
No.
They were they were big for a little while. He also done Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, which had Jeremy Renner in it, and Gemma Atherton. There's also another actress in it. The daughter was played by Edie Patterson. Now, if anybody's watched The Righteous Gemstones, she plays the exact same character, like snotty rich kid in that, and like same voice and everything. So they must have just seen her, but if you just haven't seen that,
Must just have a type.
I think she's done other things as well, but like she plays that really well. She comes across as that really well. She's like kind of a horrible person. She's also in Knives Out.
Spoke about the son. Who's he? The translucent.
Oh, he's been in something. I know his.
I didn't look up his IMDb because I don't know who that guy is. But is he translucent?
He's translucent in The Boys.
Ah, there you go. I did not know that. I only looked up Edie Patterson because I like her from Righteous Gemstones. Brendan Fletcher because I recognise him from something. Beverly D'Angelo, John Leguizamo, and then David Harbour. I didn't want to look them all up because I was like, I'm getting bored at this point. But if I'd known that was translucent, I would have looked that up as well because that's quite cool.
Because that was during the hype of The Boys, or maybe just after it.
But yeah, so that was my things about the actors and the director. Now,
what was
the budget? Well, what do you think the budget was?
I think it's quite a big budget, to be honest. So I'm going to go 70 million.
70 million, okay.
I'm going to go 100.
100 million. The entire film was made for $20 million.
Oh.
So it would cost what Arnold Schwarzenegger's fee was in 1994 or 1996, whatever it was.
1996.
Now, you can actually see when you watch it, it's all shot in one location. See if things take place in one location, they're much cheaper. And there was no massive star in it. David Harbour is big, but he's also not like a box office draw. Yeah. So like all that stuff was done for quite cheap. And they don't really do a lot with the guns in it either. Like there's a couple of like they shoot the guns a little bit, but there's not like prolonged shooting scenes. And like it takes place kind of like in a few locations in a house. a little bit outside, and then that's it. So they could probably have shot all that like in just one place. But yeah, 20 million, which is crazy. But you also notice the prolonged fighting scene they had where the fights of the army guys. Most of that's in the dark as well. So, you know, not massively expensive to shoot that. What do you think the box office was?
I reckon about 133 million.
133?
I'm going to go. It's got to go over it. So I'm going to say about 50 million.
150?
No, just 50 million.
Just 50, okay. Lowest grossing movie of tonight, 76 million.
Oh.
I mean,
And I would argue that was my favourite movie we watched. Lowest grossing. I think it was more like a direct-to-stream thing. I think it was released, but it was like quite quickly on streaming.
It was at the cinemas, because I seen it at the cinema when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Sal, it's something you mentioned that there was an actor in it, the actor kind of son-in-law, Morgan Steele was his name in his show. I didn't look up.
He was in Twilight.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you look at his career since Twilight, he's basically in kind of low to mid-range action movies. So it was really funny that they cast him. He was cast as a Mark Wahlberg type, and the reason for that was like early in the film, you hear him say 9/11 wouldn't have happened if I'd been there.
Do you know what?
And Mark Wahlberg said that, yeah. So in a higher budget version of that would have been Mark Wahlberg. But yeah, it's because of the whole, and that was they're going for like overhyped action star. Although to be fair, at one point he does get away from the terrorists and then is immediately killed. But you know, that was quite funny.
Did speaking of that, what Wahlberg did say about that, does he know have to apologise?
I think he said it, and then like a month later he had to apologise for it because like we were like, that's fucking ridiculous, mate. But yeah, so that was who he was based on. I don't think there's anything else worth mentioning about the kind of characters and stuff. I do have a little bit more, although we might have covered it already. To be fair, oh yeah, there is a sequel.
It was probably my favourite film out of all of them.
Oh yeah, Dilly, I would watch Violent Night again. I probably wouldn't watch Last Christmas again until I forget that I've seen it. And if I can help it, I'll never watch Jingle All the Way again in my life.
Me either. That was shit. Logan. Better.
I would rewatch Jingle All the Way so many times.
But there's a sequel coming up for it, and I think David Harbour wants Charlize Theron to be his wife. Although I don't know if that's just him wishful thinking. But yeah, that's what I'm not sure what the sequel's going to be, to be honest, because it's like, how do you do it? Like, does it happen again? Is it just Die Hard again this time? I don't know what they do.
Has this them got to actually expand his Vikingness lore?
Well, why bother doing that? Like, why even like? Well, it goes back to like when he became Santa. Like, do we need to know that? Although at the end of it, do you remember the song that came on?
No.
It was the Slade song, the Christmas Slade song, the Christmas Slade song, and that was recommended by Lily Allen, David Harbour's wife. Because it came on, it's so weird they've picked that song, because that's a very, very, very British song. Like, I don't know if that gets played all over the world, but like, super British. And then as soon as they said Lily Allen done it, it's like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Of course she did. Also, still think it's weird that he's married to Lily Allen. Like, I always forget that. Yeah. And I'm like, yep. Just he goes home and it's Lily Allen there with our kids being Lily Allen. Yeah, you'd think he'd want her to be his wife in it, but no.
He stays in London, I'm sure.
I'm sure he does, aye. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else mentioned about it. Yeah, I was really impressed. I will definitely watch it again at some point. I think it really... There was actually a thing I was going to say. It actually hits a lot of the Christmas beats as well, because it's families getting back together and reuniting over Christmas. So it hits a lot of the same beats as Jingle All the Way, but just using ultra-violence, like, constantly throughout the movie. But, you know, better Christmas movie. And at the end, they bond as a family over killing the guy called Krampus, which, again, very funny. They do an activity. I'm like, oh, we should do activities together. At one point, though, did you think that the son was in on the, like, that's where he was getting all the information from?
Yeah.
No.
Because about halfway through, I couldn't remember. I was like, I'm sure the son done something. As it went, I was like, I think he's the one that's been feeding them all this information. And then, like, it kind of started coming back to, like, that'd be a really weird ending to it if, like, this, like, it was our dad that was, like, caused all the problems. But, yeah, I genuinely thought that was what's going to happen. for like a good few minutes, and then that wouldn't be very good. That wouldn't be very Christmassy. Do you want to add anything to that?
Aye.
My voices room.
That is
Yeah.
checked after films.
We checked off all three
Nice.
movies. We've agreed that my pick was the best.
We'll agree to disagree.
No, we'll agree that my pick was the best.
Does your film have memorable quotes, unlike Jingle All the Way?
He does actually say a couple of things. I wish I'd wrote them down because he does like have a couple of lines and stuff. But now you're right. There's not like a "put the cookie down" or well, that's it. That's all. What's the other one? What's the other memorable quote from that movie?
Junior! You got to! Sorry, I could just go on there with these ones.
It's turbo time. Night, me man. Love you.
That's perfect. You say night to the podcast.
Good night, viewer.
Well,
Sim.
Good night, Tim.
till next episodes, since we're cutting up January and January is a very shit time for films, I thought, why do you not just pick one? Just pick the worst film you've ever seen.
The problem I've got with this is like, I mean, it's supposed to be a lot to say about like, do we really want to list terrible movies?
Yeah.
Because that means we've got to watch 3 bad films between now.
It's not a film podcast unless we don't watch shit films as well.
Honestly, like, I'm trying to think of a film that I could, like, can I pick like a film that's bad but like it's enjoyable because it's not good?
Yeah, right. So let me rephrase that. We've got to pick films that are really really shit that you enjoy.
Right, okay.
So for my pick, well, I had 2 actually. So I had between my no, I'll wait.
Okay, so we've just come up with it off the fly and you've thought about this, okay.
No,
I
said this in the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make me look unprofessional here. Don't diss me. I
Yeah.
already say this, but
I've not thought about this, so I would need a few days to think about it.
Okay, well, you can have a good think.
Why don't we each? Oh, I was going to say we pitch one from different genres, but that's not going to work because that'd like limit you to a genre.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of like something that I like to watch that I could be bothered to sit through. Then I've got to sit through 2 things you guys don't like. Like, oh man, you guys could pick some real shit. Like, what if you just pick like a really long movie and I just don't want to watch it?
No, we'll keep it short, and sweet. I'd say.
Oh yeah, like this should be like we have to keep it to
Like an
films
hour
that,
and a
like,
half.
yeah, 90-minute movies
Yeah.
max.
If we can.
Like anything less than 90 minutes would be better. Because like we could say, oh, the Hobbit, like that's not a good film and it's really fucking long. So
Well, we'll talk about it after we've finished it. But to me, I think we have finished this episode.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and cheers, Sim. And other viewers or listeners, I guess it'd be if they're
You know,
listening to the actual podcast.
We have a few listeners on the podcast, so that's pretty good as well.
Oh.
Which we also want to thank everyone for joining and watching the first couple of months we've started this channel podcast, or whatever you call it.
Yeah, there'll be some changes coming in the new year, but that doesn't matter. We'll sort it all out.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the socials.
Bye for now.
Thanks, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Crimbo.